Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DC Universe Online. Wow, it's been a while since I've said that. And today we're on my new character, Electrex. Yes, I've been wanting to make this character since I've heard about electric powers back in beta, and I've had this name specifically prepared. And also, when my imagination goes wild, I like to think that I'm a superhero, so lightning was always one of my favorite superpowers. So here we are with... Okay, so he's not the prettiest thing in the land, but that's okay. Today's video is going to be going over the actual electricity power sets, which we have, well, let me go into it. We have voltage and amperage. Now, with voltage, I can go over the traits before we actually go straight into each and every one of the abilities. For voltage, voltage powers will electrify your enemies and resuscitate your allies. Specialized in this tree grants 1% plus 1% critical attack chance and plus 2 critical healing chance. In the healing roll, we already know this, that you're penalized 25% damage, but your restoration and damage prevention effects you trigger are increased by 65%. That's everyone should already know this, especially in PvP. While in the healing role, you have special advantages over ice and fire type power users, which are the tanks. Your superpowers completely negate their nigh impenetrable defenses, leaving them weak and invulnerable. They pretty much briefly attacking them may inspire confidence within you, briefly increasing your damage by 70%. Wouldn't that be neat? Now we have amperage. Amperage traits are amperage powers are based on electrostatic forces. Specializing in this tree grants plus 5% critical attack damage and plus 5 critical healing magnitude. I feel amperage is going to be the actual healing tree, but like all other trees, the trees can be a mixture of DPS and also your specific role. So let's go into voltage and let's talk about the powers that we have here. First up is Tesla Blast. Hits an enemy with a bolt of electricity. The power interactions electrifies enemies, making them vulnerable to electrified power interactions. Damage roll, blah blah. You can read that as I'm hovering over it. Now, I actually have Tesla Blast, and I also have the other one that we're going to talk about in a little bit. Tesla Blast gives them when you shoot at them, gives them a dot. It gives them a base shot and then a 2-dot effect. Once I get higher level in power, I can actually go over specs and everything once I actually start looking at that. The next tier, we have Bioelectric Surge. Instantly restores health to most injured group mate and yourself. Looky there. There's our, oh look, I need to heal you button. There you go. Wired imbues yours and up to 3 group members' weapon attacks with the power of electricity to increase the chance of causing more damage. The power interaction. Each hit on an enemy has the chance to electrify enemies, making them vulnerable to electrify power interactions. Pretty much, you're looking at you and the rest of and 3 other people in your group that will now be able to electrify / stun the enemies. That's pretty much what happens when you're electrified. You're stunned for a little bit. Now, the second tier power that I chose was Electro Burst. Blasts out a wave of electricity to cause damage to nearby enemies and knock down your target. In the healing role, this electrified enemies will heal nearby allies. So, whenever I use my Tesla Blast and then I use Electro Burst, they will be all electrified. My allies, my party members that are attacking them, they'll get healed. Pretty neat. Third tier, which we have a supercharge here, is Megavolt. Blinds then shocks your enemies with a large explosion of electricity to cause widespread destruction. The next one is Shockwave. Streams electric bolts at enemies. The power interaction is electrify enemies take more damage and may become rooted or forcefully explode. Huh. I like how that's worded. Forcefully explode. Neat. The other supercharge is Group Transducer. 50% of the supercharge protects all teammates from damage with electrically charged barriers, healing them with each incoming attack. That's pretty cool. You get bubbled and then you get healed by it. The next tier we're looking at is Electro Genesis. Depending on your role, creates an aura on 2 targets to damage enemies or heal allies. You're looking at this being your DPS or your healing ability. That is actually pretty neat. Next one over there is Arc Lightning. Strikes an enemy with a bolt of electricity that can then jump to and damage more enemies, or jump to and heal allies. Looky there, that's another ability that you can be DPS or healing depending on your role. It will help or hurt. Yay! The final tier we're looking at is Iconic Drain. Drains energy from the environment to replenish yours and up to 7 group members' health. Damages and stuns target. Wow. Wowie wow. Look at that. That right there's your there's your raid buff, right? Your raid heal right there. Jeez. Next one over is Voltaic Bolt. I'm sorry if I do say that incorrectly. Strikes enemies in range with a bolt of electricity, possibly rooting or stunning them. Power interactions electrify enemies will cause damage to other enemies around them. So it's pretty much like a big explosion type of thing. I'm going to think of that as possibly like as chain lightning. I'm going to envision it as chain lightning until I actually see it. The last one in the voltage tree is Tesla Ball. Creates a slow-moving ball of electricity to zap and stun enemies in its path. Power interactions electrifies enemies, making them vulnerable to electrify power interactions. All right, well, there's your voltage tree. Let's go ahead and head over here to Amperage, and let's take a look at that. The first ability that we have is Repulse. Lifts an enemy into the air and repels him away. Kind of pretty much like telekinesis, I guess. I don't know. The power interactions is polarizes the target, causing objects to be attracted to them. Now that's cool. That's gonna be kind of funny just to look at. Spark Barrage unleashes 5 projectiles at an enemy to damage and knock them down. Wow, that's pretty much like the Batarang, or I'm sorry, Psychic Blades. Whatever. We have Attract. Damages and pulls enemies towards you. Power interactions as polarized enemies are levitated for a short time. Excuse me. For a short time. Huh. Alright. That'll work. Overcharge. Strikes an enemy with a large electric blast, causing additional attacks to charge them until they explode. Really? I'm just loving this whole explode thing. It's awesome. We have Flux. Encases you in an electrically charged bubble that pushes enemies away and prevents damage. Now that's what I call an awesome bubble. Over beside it is a supercharged ability, Invigorate. Instantly restores health and power to you and your allies and protects against control effects. Also restores health once each for you and up to 7 group members if their health falls below 35% within the next 2 minutes. That right there is our time heal. Pretty much use Invigorate. I would probably use Invigorate right off the bat, so to speak. I mean, until I actually use it in a raid setting, that's what I can only think with. Use Invigorate once the tank falls below 35% health. Boom, they get some health back. I like that. The next supercharge is Circuit Breaker. Uses 100% supercharge. Creates a localized burst of electricity to damage nearby enemies. Dramatically increase damage and critical strike chance. Protect against control effects and regenerate health over time. This is pretty much our anything we can do, and we're gonna do it boss style ability. That's what I'm gonna call that. I'm gonna call that the boss ability. And then we have Biocapacity, and instantly restores health to the most injured group mate and yourself. Also restores health once each for you and up to 3 group members if their health falls below 35%. Biocapacitor seems to be our no supercharge. Wow, this is actually the no supercharge version, but this is pretty much an alert style. But hell, hopefully the tank gets it. That's all I can really say. Let the tank get it. Next in the tier is going to be Electrostatic Bomb. Tosses an electric grenade at that pulls enemies into the center. Into the center of the explosion. Polarized enemies take more damage and may be knocked into the air. So we're pretty much seeing that the Amperage is going to bring enemies in and then boom, explode. And the last tier, we got Static Push. Forces enemies and objects away from you. Polarizes enemies, causing objects to be attracted to them. That's pretty much seems to be probably a stronger version of the one up here. Where is it? Is this one? Yes. Static Push seems to be a stronger version of Repulse. We have Electrocute, creates a field to damage enemies. Electrified and polarized enemies take additional damage. And then the last one we have Galvanized, creates a wave to heal yourself and all allies within range, growing in strength with every allied healed. Healer roll, this is a heal over time. Alright, so if it was in healer roll, it would be a heal over time. If it's not, it would just be one gigantic big heal. So we see that this is going to definitely be a really fun healing roll to really organize ourselves with. And this is it for this video. I'm going to be leveling this guy as much as I can, hopefully to 30, and get myself into some raids or something with him, so we can actually see how we can effectively utilize him in a healing raid setting. Now I do have a friend of mine, Super Patriot, over at youtube.com/thedaddy's-house. He will actually be what's the word I'm going to use? He will be recording his adventures using the electric powers. He's gonna he hopefully has a format that's going to be able to be used to cut them down to like less than 15 minutes, depending on how fast you can actually do quests. I don't know. But it should be a really fun thing to watch, and you can actually find the link in the section below. But I also have an annotation somewhere around here for the link to his YouTube channel, so you guys can go take a look at that, and definitely watch him play his electric character just to get a feel on how the powers actually go. When I get to level 30, I'll probably go into a little bit of a demonstration to see how the actual powers are used in a fight, so to speak. But I know this is probably going to be my new healer. Probably just going to let my sorcerer be a DPS, and I'm just going to call it a day. Thank you all for watching, and expect more videos for the new Coast City. I keep saying Coast City. Is it Coast City? Where's my notes? Who has my notes? No one has my notes. All right. Well, expect more videos for the new DLC to Lightning Strikes, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time.